So you want to be a digital solopreneur, and you know that in order for you to be successful, you need to build an audience, and you know that in order to build an audience, you need social media, but you don't know what platform to build your audience. If this sounds like something that you've been struggling with, or wondering, or wanting to do, you should watch this video because we're going to be talking about everything you need to know with regards to picking the right platform. First, I must apologize for the background noise, and also if you see my eyes moving left and right, I have some bullet points on my system here. I'm looking at it, so just in case you see me looking back and forth, that's what I'm doing. So many new solopreneurs always want to get it right at the beginning. Like they know they want to start, they've come to that awareness where they know that they want to do something to change their situation. They know that where they are now is not where they want to be. They know they need to do something to change it, but they just have this analysis paralysis. They can't decide where to go. Okay, so there's TikTok, there's LinkedIn, there's um sorry, one second. There's TikTok, there's LinkedIn, YouTube. Where to go? Where do I build my audience? So they're always like wondering what to do, where to. It's a whole thing. So they're stuck with this analysis. Okay, so TikTok might be Twitter might be easier because short form, and it's easier to just get on your phone and type and do this and do that. Or okay, so YouTube, it's better for long term. Well, it's better for longevity, but then you need cameras and recording the videos, this that. Like there's a lot, and so you just can't decide. And when you're excuse me, when you're stuck in that cycle of analysis and trying to figure it out and trying to do this, trying to do that, you end up not doing anything. It's been 6 months, it's been 1 year, it's been 2 years, you're still analyzing. It's what we call analysis paralysis. So it's something that a lot of new solopreneurs find themselves stuck in. So in this video, we're going to talk about it. And first thing I'm going to say to bust your bubble is that there is no perfect platform. So, social media, it's constantly evolving, right? There's always something new. We 2 years ago there was no threads, but now look at it. I mean, come on, I was surprised. Or is it Twitter? Twitter is X now. I mean, there's always changings and stuff. Like, who remembers to go? To go from how many years ago was that? In my university days, then that was around, I don't know, maybe 2013, 15, even earlier. Oh, actually, around 2009 is when 2009, 10, 11, that was when to go was still. So just imagine, where's to go today? So you can't like decide, you can't allow something as flimsy as this to keep you stuck and unable to proceed or progress because social media is constantly changing. You just need to hop on the most plausible train right now and then go from there as long as you are building your list at the background. More on that later. So there's no perfect platform. That's the first thing I want to say. But before you start to think about perfect platform or no perfect platform, you need to ask yourself, who are you building and who are you talking to? Who is your content for? Who are you speaking to? So this is what I speak about a lot in my framework, in my PAP framework for being a successful digital solopreneur. I talk about first of all deciding on what you want to sell, or what problem you want to solve, and then your audience, who are you talking to, who's your customer avatar, and then is when you think about the platform. And when you're picking the platform, you shouldn't be worried about, okay, what's the perfect platform to use, where should I post. You should be asking yourself, where is my audience, my avatar, or my customer, my ideal customer? Where is this person? Who is she? Who is he? So my customer avatar obviously is a woman. So I ask myself, where is this lady spending her time? If she's spending her time on YouTube, then you need to be on YouTube, right? So you first build your product. That is to say, you first decide what it is you want to, what service you want to. I mean, yes, we're talking about building an audience on social media, and attention is the new currency and all that, but we are digital solopreneurs. We're not all about the followers and being influencers. Our audience is our customers, right? So the first thing you need to do is figure out, okay, what is your product or solution? What service do you want to offer to your audience? After that, then you need to ask yourself, who is the person I'm serving in particular? So you need to build this profile properly. And when you've done that, up to the gender, the age, habits, where they work, and all of that, when you've done all that, then you would know where your customer avatar is hanging out. And the platform you should pick is where your customer avatar is already staying. So your customer avatar wouldn't be on TikTok and then you come on YouTube I'm talking to her or him, and she's not gonna hear you because your customer avatar is all the way over there. So you need to go where your customer avatar is. And in order to do this, it means you need to build a customer profile. And there's a whole thing, because who are you talking to? How did you even come up with your products in the first place? I'm just gonna try and keep this short. There's gonna be another video at some later time about, excuse me, about picking your products or picking your service, because that's where it really starts from. You need to start from there, because that's going to help you to build the profile. But we're talking about platforms today. So there's no perfect platform. The perfect platform is where your customer avatar already spends time. That's where you need to be, and that's where you should be creating your content. That's where you should be building your audience. That's where you should be posting solutions to the problems that your customer avatar is having. So like I said, there's no perfect platform. When you're spending too much time trying to decide what platform to post your content, or what platform to build your audience, you end up not doing anything. The next thing you know, it's been a year, it's been 5 years, and you're exactly where you were before, stuck in that job, stuck in your paychecks, stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle, not really being able to live your life, not being happy, not being able to do anything really that you want to do. So if you want to do something, do it now, you know but do the PAP framework first. By the way, if you need help working through your products, your audience, and the platform to pick, so basically niching down and deciding what platform to grow on, I have this free challenge to help you really nail down your niche, nail down your product, so that you can kickstart your journey. If you're interested, I'll leave the link in the description box, and you should check that out. It's completely free. Now, another thing you should remember is that you don't learn anything in your comfort zones, right? So if you find out that your customer avatar spends time on YouTube, and you're the type of person that doesn't like to make videos, just remember that, first of all, you want to be a digital solopreneur. If you want to be successful in this industry, you need four skills. You need to be able to write, you need to be able to speak, you need to learn sales, and you need to learn marketing. I made a short video on that a while back. These are non-negotiable skills that you must learn if you want to succeed. Forget about what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable. Just remember that nothing good happens in a comfort zone. Nothing different happens in a comfort zone. If you're comfortable, in order for you to push yourself, there's this book I'm reading currently, The Art of the Impossible, by, what's his name? I'll write it somewhere here when I'm editing. He says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he says something like this: the only real way to know, the only real way to know that you are, the only real way to know your boundaries, or the only real way for you to achieve something that is beyond your current capabilities, because let's face it, if you're watching this video, you're not okay where you are now. You want to do something impossible, in quotes. You want to do something that you think is impossible or attainable. Otherwise, you would have done it and you wouldn't be watching this video. So if you're here, then it's very likely that you're trying to achieve something you perceive as impossible. And the only real way to know what your boundaries are, or what the things you cannot do are, is to push yourself beyond your limits. Because nothing good happens, or not nothing good, nothing great happens in the comfort zone, right? So you need to be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, if you're uncertain, then you know you're doing something right. So I'm going to give you a little a short story here. When I was starting my journey, I have a lot of people that I admire and that I follow on social media, and I always look up to these people like it's ridiculous. So I'm like, oh wow, this is the kind of person I want to be. Like, this guy has figured out everything, and that's where I'm going. So I should follow him, right? So these people always look so put together. And then this dude, Justin Welsh, I'm gonna mention his name. He posted something on LinkedIn the other day, and he was like, a typical day for me, I wake up by 5 a.m. Okay, I can't remember if it was 5 a.m., but let's just say for the purpose of this video that it was 5 a.m. Wake up by 5 a.m. It was quite early, by the way. I write for an hour or two. I walk out. I take my morning coffee. I do this, and by 8 o'clock, yeah, like when he listed his routine, and it was like by 10 o'clock he has done like what some persons won't have achieved by 5 p.m., and everything was just so wonderful. And he was like, oh, so by 8 a.m. I post on LinkedIn, I engage in the comment section, I that. I was like, wow, this is so organized. Will I ever be able to do this? And then at the ending of the post, he said something like this. He was like, this happens almost never, maybe once a month. And then he was like, you know sometimes it's everything is chaos, and you just do and keep doing. because nothing is ever really organized. Like, so just what I'm trying to say is that even the people you're admiring that you think they're perfect, they struggle too. Nobody's perfect. So I've been learning recently from the people that have been, from my mentors, well, online mentors that I've been following, that nobody's really perfect. If you're feeling uncomfortable doing what you're doing, then you're doing something right, because that's how you push yourself, and that's how you push boundaries, and that's how you achieve things that you perceive currently as being impossible. So the summary of what I'm trying to say here is that nothing wonderful happens in a comfort zone. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, just know that you're doing something right. As long as you're not going against your moral restrictions or boundaries or whatnot, you're not hurting anybody, you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing. If you're uncomfortable doing something that you know is going to be good for your goals or your mission or whatever, goals that you're pursuing in life, then just know that everybody you admire, that's how they feel. Like nobody ever has it figured out. You mostly, most times we're all uncertain with what we're doing, but we do it anyway and we grow. And when you keep doing this and doing this and doing this, you find out, you wake up one day and you just realize that, oh my gosh, this thing used to seem so impossible and I'm doing it effortlessly now. Like that's how it happens, like doing things every single day. So remember that nothing good happens or nothing wonderful happens in the comfort zone. You need to push yourself and you need to keep doing every day. I feel like there's so much to say, but I want to stay on track and stick to the script, even though I've been digressing and paraphrasing and all that. So the solution for people that are trying to pick the perfect platform, because that's what we're talking about here before I get carried away, the perfect platform, you need to remember a couple of things. The first thing is you figure out your offer. So I was just speaking about the PAP framework, which, like I said, link in the description. Figure out your offer, figure out who your customer avatar is, the person you're speaking to, and then will you should you pick your platform. And when you're picking the platform, you should consider where this person already is hanging out, right? So you go there, speak to their problems, answer their problems, and your tribe will find you. I always like to say, if you just do you and speak with your own voice while solving the problems that your avatar is currently experiencing, and just leave the rest. The algorithm will do its thing and your tribe will find you, which is what you want to do. And it's not going to happen overnight. Remember that. So, here's a balanced strategy on what you should do. Yes. So there's a lot out there, and many times, myself included, by the way, you find yourself being like, okay, so yes, I want to do YouTube because that's where my avatar is, but at the same time, short form content because that's easier. So you just find yourself everywhere, even though you know where you should be putting a majority of your time. But here's what I'm just going to give you, like a general structure. Yeah, so I say you need two types of content. You need the general one for the general audience that's going to help you, catch everybody, your target audience included. And then you have the niche specific audience that is going to be answering specific painful problems that your audience has. That's how you get them more invested. That's how you nurture them. So the general content, usually those ones will be like short form content. You can do that on, any short form platform. You need to be where your customer avatar is. That's one. Two, you need to have one short form content and one long form content. So if where your customer avatar is short, then you should add one long. Or if they're in the long form platform, then you should add one short. Letters is an example of a long form content, and that is a way to nurture these people. So I spoke about how you catch their attention with the short form because it's quick, it's easy. The attention span currently in the consumers of social media, it's reducing by the minutes, so you have a very short time to catch their attention. So when you've done that with the short form content, ideally you should be nurturing them, answering, making deep and meaningful relationships with them via the long form, because you can't do that with the short form. You can't do that in 3 sentences or answer a very deep question that your customer avatar is having. You can't do that in one tweet, for example. So you need something longer. You need something like a newsletter, for example. That's not even long form. This is YouTube is an example of a long form platform. So yes, so if you are a Twitter person or an Instagram person, consider including a newsletter, which is long form. That is where you build and nurture your audience so they get to like you, because your audience or your customer or your avatar will only buy from you if they know you, they like you, or they trust you. So they get to know you from the short form content, they get to like and trust you from the long form content, because that is where they get to interact with you. If not interact, that's where they just get to see who you are, the kind of person you are, how you talk, and all that. Like we're here right now. So that's how it works. Now, examples of long form content, we have an email list or newsletters, we have YouTube, which is where we are now. And then, yeah, so that's it. Now, if you're wondering why you need a newsletter, or if you need a newsletter, or what to say in your newsletter, that's probably another video that I'll make some other time. But you should just know that you need a newsletter. You might not understand it now, but you'll thank me later. You need an email list rather. The reason is because wherever you are planting your flag, wherever you are building your tree, wherever you are building your audience, the truth is that it's like building a house on rented land. The algorithm of that platform could change overnight, and you might lose your audience. Your your account might even be hacked or banned or closed. So then what will you do? You lose access to your audience that you've spent all that time building. And the audience is the lifeblood of the business. They are your customers. So if you lose access to them, imagine what's going to happen. What are you going to do? How are you going to reach them or sell to them or whatever it is? So I was talking to this entrepreneur the other day, and he was telling me he's into forex trading, crypto trading, and all of that. And he was telling me how he had to start his business from scratch because his Facebook group was hacked. So he was building his audience on Facebook, and he has these coaching services and digital products that he sells to them. He teaches people how to trade safely and all that. And he was telling me how his account was hacked. It wasn't even like Facebook banned it; it was hacked, and he essentially had to start his business from scratch because he had no direct access to them. So imagine if this happens to you, like what would you do? Imagine you've built your audience, you have 2 million followers, something happens and you lose access to your account. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? But imagine if this happens and you have an email list. That is to say, your 1 million followers, or even though it's just a fraction of them, 500,000 of them, you have their email address, you have a way to contact them. So that is a list that you own. That's an audience that is yours and not just hosted in a platform that you have no control over, because you want to have control. More on that later, on control and autonomy and all that. So you want to have control of your list, or you want to have control of your audience, or you want to have control of your business, and your audience is the lifeblood of your business. So in order for you to do that, wherever you are planting your flag, wherever you are building your audience, ensure that you are building an email list, or ensure that you are building a customer list. If you're in Nigeria, Nigerians don't check their emails. I don't know why. I have quite a number of people on my email list, but well, they open it, they do, but sometimes it can take like 5 days for an average Nigerian to open their email, and that's if they remember. So what I recommend in that area is collecting numbers. Like Nigerians like WhatsApp and Telegram a lot, so you can build your list there, or you can build your audience there, and that is outside of your normal short form and long form. So this is you owning the list now, right? So you can get phone numbers, you can gather them in a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group and all that. This is a whole thing, and there are several things that I feel like if I just keep going, I'll dive in and digress from what I'm trying to talk about today. So you need an email list is what I'm trying to say. We're talking about platform, and I said, just to recap, we're talking about platforms, and just to recap, I said you need the first things first. I said you there's no perfect platform. The perfect platform is where your audience already is, and in order for you to know that, you first need to know what service you're rendering and who your customer is. That is how you know their habits. That's how you know where to find them. When you've discovered where to find them, that's where you plant your flag, and that's where you build your audience. And while you are doing that, you need to ensure that you're posting short form content and long form content, and building an email list that you own, or building an audience that you own. So while you're building the audience in the short form platform or in the long form platform, you need to ensure that you have some way to own those people. When I say own those people, I just mean own their information or have access to their information, so you can reach them such that if something happens to your account, you are hacked, you were banned, you broke some kind of rules, people get their YouTube account deactivated all the time. That happens to you. You have access to your people and you can tell them, okay, this is what is happening, find me here. And then you don't have to start all over again. If you are spending too much time trying to decide where to go, remember that analysis paralysis is a thing that exists. Take it from someone that has gone through it several times over and over again, always trying to like ensure that I get everything right. You don't want that to happen to you. Just go out there and do. You likely fall flat in your face, like I like to say. But guess what? You will learn. You get up, you learn, you get better. The people you admire, they're falling flat on their faces several times, and that is how they got where they are today. Because when you fall down, you learn, and you never forget the lesson. Take action today. If you want to pick a platform, just pick it. If you're confused, then go through the PAP framework so you can decide and be clear on what it is you are going to offer to your audience. And meanwhile, some people get overwhelmed in this. They're like, oh, so, but I don't even know what to sell. I don't even know. If you have a general idea or blueprint in your head of what you want to do later, it's very nice if that guides you. It's very nice if when you're starting out building content or creating content or building an audience, that is what's supposed to like guide you so that you can smartly be a content creator. So you're not one of those people who just post funny videos or they want the likes, or those. If you Some people, they have like 2 million followers, and the 2 million people, they are just they have nothing in common. You can't sell one thing to them. Like, they have nothing in common. They are not one group of people. So it's very difficult to monetize that type of audience, right? So, but we're doing this with an end goal in mind that, oh, I want to provide a service to these people in the future. So it means you want to attract a certain kind of person. So I would take 1,000. I don't know if any of you have read that book, 1,000 True Fans. You only need like 1,000 true fans to be successful as a digital solopreneur, because 1,000 people. Imagine you decide that, oh, so I'm going to write an ebook, which by the way is like the fastest way to succeed as a digital solopreneur. You write a book. I mean, that was how I even got into this journey. I was like, oh, so I need to make money like yesterday. So how am I going to do it? Write an ebook. With AI now, not using it 100%, but using to edit. With AI, you can write and edit a book, complete it, use Canva, design it, and your book will be ready in 24 to 48 hours. So that's not even the big deal. The big deal is, okay, so now you have an ebook. Who's going to buy it? Are you going to start telling people one by one, come and buy my book, come and buy my book? It doesn't work that way. So the most important thing is building the audience. And that is the reason why owning access to these people is the lifeblood of your business. So now, imagine when you write an ebook, you have 1,000 people on your list that are genuinely interested in the things that you say. Even though 50% of that crowd buys your ebook, just imagine you're selling the ebook for like I don't know, some people sell ebooks for up to $100, but let's pretend it's 47 or even 30 times 500. Do you know how much you make overnight? Can you see the beauty of it? Do you know how much you will make overnight? So that's the reason why it's very nice that when you're creating content, you do it with an end goal in sight, and you are clear on the type of people that you want to attract with that audience, because that is how it's going to be very easy for you to monetize your audience. So think about that. If you're confused, go through the PAP model or framework so that you can have clarity, and then the next content you put out there, you'll be focused. And then give yourself 6 months. Who knows where you'll be? I'll be here cheering you on later.